Good morning, and thank you for tuning in to this week's episode with the Real Talk with Doc. If you haven't already, please turn on those post notifications, subscribe, like, and comment in the section below if you're finding this content being of any meaningful value to you in your real estate, construction, renovation, development journey. Good morning, Kay.
Good morning. So what you got new for us today?
There is always something new. I know a lot of people watch this video. One thing I do want to tell you that we need new to the office is we are looking for a bilingual English-Spanish speaking executive administrator or admin assistant. We need that new position in the office as soon as humanly possible. That's new. Our projects are all moving along. Great. Kay has now started to go in the field once a week to bring you a real-time update on the status of our projects that we really want to do a better job in when talking to our viewers and talking to how they want to see the construction progress along. So Kay should have shown you some footage on the 3,000 square foot addition we're doing in McLean, Virginia. She should have shown you some updated footage on the mega mansion that we're building for a client in McLean, Virginia. Should have shown you some updated footage on the complete gut renovation job that we're doing in DC. So those are three key projects that she's gonna continue to bring you a weekly update on. So you can see the rate at which our construction moves with the quality not being compromised, and you can continue to follow along. So thank you very much for pushing us to give you more content that you wanna see from week to week. So that's what's new, Kate. Projects are moving along very well. We're looking for that key position, and just always thankful and fortunate to be in a situation where this market is a bit rocky right now in terms of just the real estate that we have sitting on the market way longer than we want to be, especially in the prime season of real estate, the summer months where people have gotten the kids out of school and they're looking at the next school district for the next academic school year, and they're out finding a house, planning, getting everybody moved in and settled before the kids go back to school. And this market is a different market because this is a different administration. And I'm gonna leave that administration there because I don't want them to pull the plug on any of our websites and weird stuff start happening. So I'm just gonna leave that there, Kay.
What's the number one mistake you see new developers make when trying to flip or build or sell a house?
Funny you said that because somebody asked me that the other day. Shout out to my client, Eric, out in Waldorf. And Eric asked, man, Doc, is there a difference between development or flipping or renovating or being a builder? Like, why do people use those terms? There actually is a difference in the terminology of the language. When you look at someone who's a developer, you're looking at someone who's creating, infrastructure and taking, raw land into a full phase of entitlements. And that's a whole process that we could talk about at a different time to get multiple homes in a community built and developed. That's a developer. A developer is not a flipper. A developer has a much more daunting task of bringing raw land to fruition and having multiple properties and new water systems and sewer systems and all of that stuff connected and roadways. That's a developer. When you think about a flipper is somebody who goes out that's not a renovator. Like, we have people who have renovation companies that are not flippers. When you think of a flipper, they go out, they find a property and they flip it. Hence the term flipper. How do they flip it? Buy it for a little bit of money, put some money in it, and flip it for a high return. They sell it at a high price. So that's an actual flipper. When you think about someone who renovates properties, some flippers can be renovators of their own property. That's someone who simply goes out and they do the renovation work to take a property from one phase in its current state to a better phase in this, sometimes you hear the term ARV, at the retail value or at the resale value state, in which they have now, they've been the person who have done the work of the renovation, or they can hire somebody who will do the renovation work. So there's a significant difference in terms there. What you didn't ask, Kay, is why I'm in this black and white suit out of my comfortable daily wear, asking about these questions, just looking at me all crazy in a suit, but didn't say anything, Kay. And I'm sure people want to know, why is this man in a shirt and tie? Well, I'm in a shirt and tie. May he rest in peace. One of my great uncles had passed away. So my day still starts the same day. I'm still in the office. Funeral arrangements begin at 10 and we'll probably be in the ceremony all the way until 1 o'clock. But nevertheless, I'm in a shirt and tie. I used to wear shirt and tie every day, but it's so much more comfortable wearing my Polo Tebow shirt and my Amazon 6-pocketed pants. But that's not the attire for the day. So, Mr. Melvin, may you rest in peace. Thank you.
With the next question, what kind of financing or funding strategies have you seen work best for small developers?
Believe it or not, OPM, other people's money. Some of the most successful people in the world. I just watched Robert Smith interview that he did with Tony Robbins. And I mean, just, you know, the most wealthiest African-American male in the United States of America, not the world, but the United States of America, still a big feat. But to answer your question, when you can leverage people in your circle that have means in which you find a deal that not only makes you a lot of money, but can make them more money than their money sitting in a CD, than their money sitting in the bank, than their money sitting in a Roth IRA, anything like that, sitting in any of those things that are low yielding in terms of return on investments annually. Present a situation to them, do your homework, make sure the numbers are solid, because people who have amassed some means are pretty intelligent to a certain level. That's why they've amassed means more than the average person. And raise revenue, or raise money within your circle. And that money you can take to put down as your down payment, as a builder, as a developer, or as a flipper. And the biggest thing you gotta do is just execute on your timetable. As long as you execute on your timetable, your numbers are solid, your research is solid, you will profit in the end. And your numbers will come back to you just as you have done your due diligence in. So you pay that person their principal back, you pay that person their interest back, and now guess what? It's been a great business relationship. And when you start off with that one project, now you got this group of investors who have seen how you've made their money work harder for them than where they initially had it before you presented this business opportunity. Now when you go do the next flip, that can be 1 or 2 flips this time that you take down. That could be a bigger flip that you take down. You already got a set of investors that you've tested, proven, and are true to. And guess what they'll do? They'll tell people in their circle how you perform, how you deliver on what you say you're gonna deliver on. Reliable. I'm gonna come back to that word because Kay always asks me a word of wisdom. That word reliable changed my life. Again, listening to Robert Smith, those are things that just allow you to internally grow when you're seeking excellence in all that you do, but reliable. We're gonna come back to that word. When you have demonstrated to them that you are simply reliable, that when you tell somebody you're gonna do something and you do it, not just one time, not just 2 times, but you consistently do it over and over and over again, you have now established reliability. And reliability is so lost in the space of construction. It is so undervalued when you can shake a man or woman hand and look them in the eyes and tell them that you are going to deliver, and not just deliver, but deliver over and over and over again. And that's one thing sometimes I miss the mark on, because I depend on other people to allow me to be as reliable as I would like to be, because you got to have a team of people when you're dealing with multiple clients and multiple businesses. And I really did some deep soul searching with that to make sure that I find ways to not have my reliability card revoked in any form or fashion due to the actions and inactions of others that I count on. So to answer your question, Kay, that's just something very important to consider.
What's a current DMV neighborhood or corridor you believe is underrated and poised for development?
In DC, don't buy anything in which you are looking to turn into condominiums and sell in this market. Right now, and I'm gonna timestamp this, I normally don't do this, but today is July 22nd, 2025. I'm going on camera forever now and forevermore, is that the condominium market in DC right now is decimated. I cannot go to, and I'm calling them all out, Main Street Bank, Capital Bank, Eagle Bank, Sandy Spring Bank. Those are my 4 go-to banks, and none of them are touching a condominium project with a 10-foot pole. Do not invest in condominiums. And well, let me not tell you to not invest in condominium buildings right now, because we don't know where the market is going to be 1 year from now or 2 years from now. Sometimes, based on how big your project is, if you acquired something today, it could be a 2-year process before you get to a turnkey product that you're ready to hit the market. And the market could be totally different 2 years from now, or it could be totally worse. We don't know. But if you are looking to buy somebody else's project, which a lot of developers are just walking from their condo projects because the math just doesn't make sense anymore, and you think that by the end of the year, in the next 12 months, you're gonna make a huge killing in DC, please do your research and think again, my friend, because condominiums are not the market for DC. You gotta understand, all of these things are driven by interest rates. This is why the President of the United States is pressing Powell to lower interest rates, because we understand that when you lower interest rate, it stimulates the economy, but there's some other economic factors that can be a counterproductive situation that you can put the entire country in when you just lower interest rates and the market cannot keep up, GDP cannot keep up. So in Maryland, again, Virginia, we are in the DMV area, District of Columbia, Maryland, Virginia. For those who are not in the area, that's what DMV stands for, and that slang is used very often, Ryan, because this tri-state area is all connected. You can be in DC 5 minutes to Maryland. You can be in DC 5 minutes to Virginia. You can be in Virginia 5 minutes to Maryland. Everything is just right here. The Beltway 495 just connects these 3 areas. People who have a long-term game can really pick up some great commercial space right now, because you can buy commercial space pennies on the square foot. People who are in a space that had deep pockets and want to come in and really get good deals on condominium projects, if you have that kind of risk tolerance and you are very optimistic the market is going to change in the next 24 to 36 months, this kind of market is for that investor. When we start talking about flippers early, if you think you're going to get into a project and find it super dirt cheap and flip it, and you got 10, 15 buyers that are waiting on you to get in a multiple offer bid situation, this is just not that market in this area. So Kay, based on just the surplus of condominiums on the market, based on the fact that some people are in interest rates that are like 3% from 2-3 years ago, and now you're going to cash that in and be in a property that has an interest rate of 7%, more than double, that economics just don't make sense for a lot of, everyday Americans, and this is why the market is where it is.
So closing us out, you mentioned reliability. Could you speak more to that, and then let us know how we can connect with T-Row services?
Yes, Kay. So as I closed out with my words of wisdom, reliability is a word that's really been heavy on my mind, my spirit, my heart, and my very existence. How do I establish ultimate reliability? And that means hitting the mark, and I'm gonna define that. When you can hit the mark more than 90% of the time, and the things that you tell your loved ones, and the things that you tell your clients, and the things that you tell your friend, if you can hit that more than 90% of the time, that is a high level of being reliable. If you tell somebody you're gonna get a report to them at 5 o'clock tomorrow, and you don't get that report to them until 2 days later, it's not being reliable. If you tell someone you're gonna come in and give an elite experience, regardless of if it's you and 5 other people that's part of that experience, and that experience ever loses that eliteness at any given time, that's me owning that not being reliable. If a client tells you that they're gonna do something for you and they don't do it, you can't expect the client to reach ultimate reliability. You're in that situation and you understand what does it mean to be ultimately reliable, and that means delivering on promises, delivering on your word, delivering on the services that you tell people on time, consistently, with a 90% or higher execution rate. And that's really something I'm focusing on now. And when I miss the mark, I'm really doing a deep dive into why did I miss that mark, and why was not at a level of ultimate reliability? Because now I can start to deconstruct the things around me, the people around me, the resources that I count on. And if there are any flaws in that, then I gotta really seriously evaluate that. You gotta really seriously evaluate that. and be ready to just move resources that just don't work for you at the level in which you've grown to, and remove people and things that just don't work for you at the level and point that you've grown to, and know that it's okay. Because when you can really deconstruct why you're not hitting ultimately reliability, it will catapult you into the stratosphere where you have greater things waiting on you on the other side, because you've had that true self-reflection, you've done that deep assessment, and you've removed those things that are hindering you from delivering on the things that you are capable of delivering on, so you can have all the success in the world for you and your family forevermore. And this is why that word reliability and being ultimate reliable is now focus of my purpose in existence, because it's going to catapult me, not only me, but catapult the experiences that our clients have being a client-obsessed company. It's going to catapult the experiences that our employees have in working for T-Bow Residential. It's going to catapult the experience that even on a personal level, my wife and kids and family and friends have. And it just makes for a beautiful, more meaningful experience and purpose that we all should strive in every day. And that is the pursuit of ultimate happiness. But part of that is, how do you maximize and find ultimate reliability? So my words of wisdom today: be ultimate reliable, and see how that changes your relationships, see how that changes your integrity, see how that changes the respect that people have for you, and most importantly, see how that changes your life. Until next time, I'll see you at the next construction site.